whitening cream that you put on your skin and it makes you lighter. She would bleach her hair blonde. She was desperately trying to look
white.
Because this is a sin. This is bad. I had a mother who every time.
What's going on, guys? My name's Cam, and I'm here with my Uncle Jay in the building. Yeah, so hey, I got another video for us. I think this one touches home for me personally, because with the Hispanic side of my family, I have definitely grown up seeing this, especially even with my own siblings, because I have a younger brother who's lighter than all of us, and you can tell from that side they'll be like, oh, he's more Dominican than you, just because his skin is lighter. And that's just, and you'll go around, you show people be, oh, da, 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 and you, oh, you're just black. So personally, I went through this, not directly with my parents, but just with like outside relatives and just the skin hate, man. So I thought it was an interesting video. And Unc lives in Colombia, so I wonder if he's seen anything similar to this while being there. So we're just gonna take a look. Let me know when you want to pause it if you have, or you want me to pause or anything. Okay, all right, let's get into it.
When I was a little kid in Mexico and a new baby was born, if they were born dark, this is what I heard. Ay, está negrito, pobrecito. What is that saying?
Poor you.
Dang, that's tough luck for you. You have a dark-skinned baby. But whenever one of my little cousins was born light-skinned, ay, mira, está abuelito como un angelito. What is that psychologically doing to you? Teaching you that what? To be like an angel, you have to be white. You have to be light-skinned. Whenever we see pictures of Jesus and angels, what color are they?
White.
White. Heaven is filled with white people. God and the angels are all white. When have you seen a black angel? Let's be honest. So what does that teach you psychologically? What does that teach you? That your God doesn't look like you. That the angels in heaven, in that beautiful place, don't look like you. You don't realize what this is doing to you here. When my cousins were born light-skinned, they were treated better, way better. I mean, güerito, vente pa acá. Because we're dark-skinned, we were kind of pushed to the side. Quítate pa allá, pinche negro. It's because psychologically, we're taught heavenly and angelic, beautiful, worthy is all white. Everything that's worthless is dark. I hated myself so much growing up because I was dark. You know what I used to do to anger my mother? Because she was ashamed that she had a dark-skinned kid. She was dark too. My mom was dark. My father was dark. So all her kids were Indios like me. Because of that, all of the other cousins are light-skinned. So her siblings, because they married white people, they ended up having light-skinned kids. Dang, I ended up with all the ugly kids. So to piss her off, I took my shirt off and I stood in the sun to get darker because I knew it would piss her off. That's what I did. You see how ugly it is to be dark? She made me angry. So I'm going to take my shirt off. I'm going to get darker. Because when she sees me, she's going to say, ay, pinche negro, quítate that sword. Every time I was in the sun as a kid, she'd be like, get out the sun, you're getting darker. She did not want her kids to get darker. When I was in high school, some girls would walk by and look at me and say, oh, that dude's not a Mexican. He's a black-sicken. Okay? If I look like this, I'm not Mexican. So what is a Mexican then? What is a Mexican supposed to look like?
White.
Right. Why does she think that a Mexican is supposed to look white? When you turn on Univision, what do you see?
Yep.
White.
That is what is teaching us that is a Mexican. That represents Mexico and Mexicans. Is white people with blue eyes. You see? When you watch novelas, any TV show in Spanish, what color are they?
White.
In the background, you see some dark-skinned people. Servants. Basically slaves. Those are not considered Mexican. Growing up, you know what I heard Mexicans say? Él no es mexicano, él es un indio. You see what's going on here? You begin to feel what? Hateful. Perfect answer. And because you're worth nothing, it's easy for you to what? To not care. Why should you care? My mom, she was so hateful towards herself. She used to buy whitening cream that you put on your skin and it makes you lighter. She would bleach her hair blonde. She was desperately trying to look
White.
Because this is a sin. This is bad. I had a mother who every time she talked to me, when she talked to me, it was spiteful. With so much anger. And I noticed a lot of time when she talked to my cousins who were light-skinned, she talked to them very kindly. What did that make me feel inside? I'll never be able to be light-skinned, so I'm going to be a piece of crap for the rest of my life. that gave me the fuel to say, what am I even trying? My own mom thinks I'm ugly. I'm worthless. She thinks she's worthless. She thinks she's worthless so much that she's whitening her freaking skin and she's bleaching her hair because she doesn't want to look like this.
Man, that man was preaching. He was preaching, and we let the whole clip play because it's just like it was
hard to stop that one and interrupt him. I was definitely engaged in it.
You can't stop it. And listen to this, and I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I had a conversation with somebody he's from Israel, he's Jewish. And he was telling me about, like, people always are mean to me. I said, no offense, bro, but I said, if you didn't wear that yarmulke, nobody would know you're Jewish. I said, unlike you, anywhere I go, I'm a Negro. I said, I can't do no shape shifting. There's no like I know people. I'm like, bro, you can go to South America and they'll think you're Hispanic. You can go somewhere, as long as you learn the language, they'll think you're Hispanic. You can go to these places and blend in everywhere and people will treat you good. Wherever I go, I stick out like a sore thumb unless I'm in Africa or in the Caribbean islands in some parts. I can't shapeshift around America. I can't go to Wisconsin. People will be staring at me, man. There's no, and I had that conversation with him. I said, I understand your gripe and your problems, but if you just remove that off, at the end of the day, you're just a white guy. No disrespect to you, but what I am, it don't even matter what religion I am. The first thing they see is black, and they automatically assume negative things with that, and that's the difference. I can hide what religion. You don't know what religion I am. You don't even know what race I am.
Certain areas, like if you leave like a New York City, like say if a Jewish person left New York City and went to South Carolina, most people in South Carolina couldn't pick out a Jew from anybody else. Like you say, you remove the yarmulke, you're totally different. And it's interesting just listening to this, right? So I think I told you I've lived in Mexico.
Yeah.
I lived there for 5 years. And I know exactly what he's talking about. Like my girlfriend she was lighter than me.
Yeah.
But her dad called her negrita. Like she was darker than everybody else in the family.
Yeah.
She wasn't really dark skinned, but to them, she was dark skinned. Every bank I went to, light skinned working in the bank. Same thing here in Colombia. It's exactly the same. All of the corporate jobs, the good jobs, went to the light-skinned people. The field jobs, all the labor jobs, were the little short, dark-skinned, indigenous Mexican. And that is so wrong on so many levels. It's just like you don't get the chance to choose, how you're born or what color you are or whatever, but to not even give these people a chance in life. And so that's why they get so upset when like their daughters
get with black
do the whitewashing.
Yes.
They want to whitewash.
I agree.
So like some of her cousins, same thing, married white guys in the US. Oh, they would love that white guy to death. My girlfriend, her mom hated me.
Yeah.
Hated me with a passion. And you know what's the messed up thing? I treated her daughter better than her Mexican husband did. I exposed her to more, but she was never going to be nothing. I was never going to be accepted by her mom only because of the color of my skin. And you would think in 2025 that would be over with. Look at most of the Mexicans that work in the fields in California, they're dark skinned.
Yeah,
most
they're little brown people.
As housekeeper, groundskeepers, they're like that. And I'm sure it's the same way with even in Colombia, right? When you come to Cartagena, have you noticed that everybody on the beach
is dark?
That's doing the massages.
It's dark.
They're all black.
Yeah.
You don't see any fair skin, cartoneros or cartoneras.
Unless you go inside the wall.
Yeah.
That's all the waitresses, they're light skinned or light.
Exactly. And even in America, man, I mean,
shoot, commercials.
They have like the beautiful baby contest or whatever.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point to where I can remember me submitting my daughter for one, right? And then I pulled it. And the reason I pulled it was because I felt like I didn't want to, because she is like kind of a mixed child, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Her mom was half Mexican, half black. And so she ended up getting the light skin and the curly hair and everything. And I remember pulling her from it because I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and just see how this thing plays out.
Mhm.
And the baby that they picked, because it was Chicago
Mhm.
or whatever, and the radio station was a black radio station, it seemed like as if it was the opposite. They wanted to pick the baby that was like probably wouldn't have normally got picked, but they just said, okay, we need to represent. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, cute little baby. But I know if I put that child against my child right now, as an 18-year-old, I guarantee you more guys would probably find my daughter more attractive. But you know, we need to get out of this light skin, dark skin. Like one of the things I told my daughter was, I was like, when she was growing up, I said, do not ever tell somebody, do never ever use the term good hair. I hate that term.
Yeah.
What the hell is good hair? You have a different grade of hair.
Yeah.
But why does it have to be, if your hair is straight or curly, it's good hair, versus me and yours is considered bad hair?
Shoot, even to I know a Hispanic girl who always flat ironed her hair because the white people at school had their hair. Her hair was naturally curly and straight, but she hated it.
My daughter went through that same thing, man, emotionally or whatever. Because her mom has more of the straight hair.
Yeah.
My daughter's was really curly.
Of course.
And I was like, you have beautiful hair. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like your hair is fine. But she would straighten it out. And actually, I think she kind of damaged it, you know, because she was putting the heat to it all the time.
Yeah.
Now that she's older, she wishes that she had her curls back and she can have the best of, you know, the best of both worlds. She can wear it straight, she can wear it curly, but you know, nowadays, man, people are so caught up into that nonsense. That's why you got all these people wearing these chicks wearing these wigs and want to be European and, you know, this and that. Like, be proud of who you are. You know, like, I'm proud of being black. I'm proud of, you know, whatever mix that's going on or whatever. Whereas you know, I know I got an Irish name, but you know, but you know what? At the end of the day, man, I feel bad for that guy and how he grew up, and he hit on all points, man. You know, like I said, the white Santa Claus, I mean, they did experiments with I'm sure you've heard of this, where they did the experiment with the black baby dolls and the white baby dolls, and they always picked the white baby doll.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy. And the angels, I thought about it. I've never hardly seen a black angel.
Angels are all white.
And most of I used to go to like a Baptist church, right, all my life, and all the pictures of Jesus was white Jesus. And then, you know, occasionally I go to a home and they got the Jesus and dreads, you know. But that was actually when I got older, man. I got the Jesus and dreads, you know. Whatever.
Yeah, I didn't start seeing that until the last like 6 years of my life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, they try to switch it up or whatever, which, you know, does anybody know?
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have no cameras. They just described it.
They just, again, we're living in a world where, and this is gonna be controversial, but like, we're living in a world where, I hate to say it, but we lost the war to the giant, which was the Europeans.
Yeah.
They had the boats, they had this, they had everything. So when you win, you can dictate what history is.
Everything. I mean,
so guess what? Jesus is white now.
Yeah. Even like over here in Cartagena, you know, even like with the working girls, man, you know, of course you got the dark ones and you got the European looking ones or whatever. I mean, the dark ones don't hardly get any love.
Yes.
None, hardly.
Mhm.
Occasionally, and you know when they do get love, it's a white guy.
Oh wow.
And I think that's more of like a fetish. You know,
Yeah.
you always want what you can't have. You know what I mean?
That's the
But
same thing in DR.
and even I've seen like with in the United States, you know, there's chicks that will pick a white guy as a customer versus a black guy, or they'll say no black men.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just the society we live in, man. You hope that it gets better, but I don't think I'll ever see it.
It will never change. But I would say mostly now, especially today, there's more mixing. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
there's talk
You
about
think about it slowly.
it's
Things are starting to
everybody about to be
like
something.
like actually, you know, it's not going to be how it is. The numbers are going to change because,
Of
like you
course.
said,
Drastic.
it's more of mixing races. It's more of these, you know, mixed children and everything. And honestly, I think if it was more of that, the world would be a better place. You know,
I
so
agree with you 100%
who
on
knows? Like I said, I'll never see it, but you know,
that. Yeah.
I'm hopeful for your generation.
Yeah. It's tough. But yeah, not many people care about race as much. Maybe again, I live in South Florida. We're different from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I went to school with any race you could think of. I went to school with every variation. I went to school with Haitians, Trinidad people that look Indian, and you'll call them Indian. They'll be like, I ain't Indian. like I grew up with all of that stuff around me.
So how did they treat you?
Regular man. Of course, you always have. Again, me and my friend, we were racist as hell to each other. You know, we'll call each other all type of
Yeah.
words, all type of
Yeah.
slurs, but we're all good friends, and we can still to this day. I was sometimes like one of my best friends is Cuban. He lives in Seattle. I'll go to his mom's house randomly, like once a month, bring her some flowers. And she's like, "Oh, come!" Kisses on the cheek. How you doing, my baby? You know, they like me out of the group because I used to, again, I grew up with my grandparents, so I
Right.
always spoke. I would sit on a porch and talk to his mom for 2 hours. That's just how I grew up. So I have a friend's mom who's Japanese. They have a restaurant. I'll go sometimes to the restaurant. Hi, Mister. How you doing? And she's like, oh my God. And we'll have that conversation to speak. But if you don't grow up around these different cultures and you stick in a box, I see how you would see other things different. Like I'm working with some guys, they've never been around Black people or Caribbean people before in their life. They've been around, you know, they're from North Carolina, Wisconsin.
Right.
So
Right.
they're just like, oh, you keep your mouth shut. They all think I'm a Democrat in the office. So they just start taking, like, they found out, one of them found out I voted for Trump. They were like, oh, thank y'all. It was crazy. So you really have these things, man. So I think
It's crazy, man. It's really crazy.
stop
You know,
worrying about the differences. Worry about your similarities. That's what I would say, man. And just
and
try to get
that's
to
what
know
we need.
somebody.
It's what we need to do. I had a guy one time. My ex-wife went to go pick up some wood from his farm, and he was loading it into the truck, and his work, he's like, these N-words, man, they're just lazy, blah blah blah. Because he thought that, like, he was so ignorant, you could tell she was not white. She had the woolly type of hair, straight hair, but it was woolly, you know.
Yeah.
And she has the olive type of skin, you know.
Yeah.
And he was just like going on and on. And she was like, could you please take that wood out of my truck? And she was like, what's wrong? Well, you know what? I'm Black and I'm not lazy, and neither is my daughter. Oh, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the other people, you know. And it was like, get it out, you know. But it's just amazing that we were living in Mississippi, right there on the border of Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That area, man. And it was, oh my God. But anyway, man.
Yeah.
This will never change, but we at least had to cover it. You know what
No, this was a good conversation to have. And I like that. Again, he was talking to kids, and I wish that camera would turn and see the kids, because I'm pretty sure he's talking to other Mexican people. He's probably in New Mexico or Arizona somewhere, and they're going through that same issue.
They're going through that same issue. I'm sure most of the people were very dark skinned that was in that classroom.
And they knew, they were like preaching.
He was doing one of those, let me let me try to raise these kids' self-esteem because it should
I've been
be
there
like that.
before.
To me, it's like you should only be separated. Okay, if you get an education, it shouldn't matter what you look like, handicap, black, white, Jew, whatever. You know what I mean? But when you're born at a disadvantage, man, and then nobody, even no matter how hard you work, you don't have an opportunity. That's crazy to me. I mean, same thing down here, bro. It's like with the Venezuelans. I mean, and some of the black Colombians, Afro Colombians. No matter how hard they work, they will never get an opportunity.
They won't.
Most of them, never. It's a lot. It's like not saying that some have it slipped through the cracks, but it's a lot of work. It really is. But anyway,
Yeah.
Guess that's all we have for this topic.
Yeah, that's it, man. I know it was a good conversation, man. I'm glad we had it. Heartwarming too, man. So, but anyway, guys, let us know if you guys got anything for us to react to down in the comment section below, man. My name's Cam. That's Unc Jae. All of our social media is down below. You guys have a good one. Peace.
Peace.